And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb-bearing seed. To you it shall be for food. Genesis 1:29. Man did eat angels' food. He sent them meat to the full. Psalm 78:25. Everyday Manna with Lisa.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Everyday Manna. On today's program, we are going to be making a double cheese stuffed chicken breast with sun-dried tomatoes and feta cheese and Parmesan cheese in a breadcrumb mixture, and then we're going to be making a glazed baked carrot dish and some lemony fresh green beans. So we're going to get started. Now all I've done is I've got a pot of water here that I'm bringing to a boil so that I can add my carrots. I have a large skillet preheating with about, I'd say, half a cup of canola oil, and I'm just going to be shallow frying my chicken. So that's just getting hot while we're going to be making our mixture. Now, we are going to be using a couple of things today that maybe you've never used with chicken. Maybe you've never used it at all, but it's delicious. The first ingredient that we're going to be using is sun-dried tomatoes. Now, maybe you've never tried them, but they look like this. I like, myself, the kind that's packed in oil. You can get them in two ways. You can get them packed in oil or just a dried, hard dried tomato that you have to reconstitute with water. I just prefer the ones that are packed in oil. They come, well, I've already put it up, but they come in little jars, and they're just sun-dried tomatoes in olive oil. Get them any grocery store out there, usually with the Italian ingredients, the pasta sauces and things like that. I'm going to use about 4 of them because they're very potent in their flavor, but I love them. I use them in a lot of different things. Turnips, actually, mixed with sun-dried tomatoes are delicious, and then roast them in the oven. Just kind of chop them because these were whole. You can get them already julienned. Sometimes you find them like that, but these were whole. And the reason I'm doing them on a separate little board is because they are oily, and sometimes they will stain. So I'm just going to use my plastic little board that I can just wash off. Save my big wooden board for something else here in a minute. So we're just going to chop these up. They are a little bit leathery, so you need to work them with your knife. Just chop them up and put them in your bowl. If you want to use the kind that is not packed in oil, you will need to plan ahead. Boil some water, put about 4 of the tomato halves in water, let them soak for about 20 minutes, and they'll become soft and pliable. Throw away the water, and then just chop them like we just did. To that, we're going to add some feta cheese, which is a Greek cheese if you've never used it. I bought the block, and I've just broken off about 1/4 of a cup, and we want to just break our feta. As you can see, it just crumbles. Just like this. You want to crumble up your feta. If you want to buy already crumbled up feta cheese, that's perfectly fine. Either way, I buy it in the blocks most of the time because I like to slice it and put it over a salad and make a Greek salad. But you can by all means use the already crumbled. It doesn't matter. There's some really, really good feta cheese blends out there in the markets today. I love cheese of any kind, really, but you can get some good feta. Sometimes you can get it soaked in oregano with spices. Now, that's not what you want for this recipe, but you can get it feta cheese, in a brine with oregano and oil on it. It's delicious. It's a sharp cheese. It's a very sharp flavored cheese if you've never tried it, but I like it. Okay, there's our feta, about 1/4 of a cup of feta cheese. Then we're going to add my all-time favorite cheese, which is Parmesan cheese. I always buy the block unless I just need a ton of it, and then sometimes I will buy it pre-grated. Most of the time I just buy a block of cheese. This block of cheese will last you a long time because Parmesan cheese is very, very strong in its flavor. You don't need a lot of it. We're going to add about 1/4 of a cup, maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of a cup. I always grate it fresh down in there, and I just love it. As you can see, it just shreds it right up. It's delicious. We're going to add a little bit of oregano, just a dried. Now, I'm using a Greek oregano. Get it in any grocery store out there, but you can just use regular Mexican oregano if you can find it, or just regular dried oregano, doesn't matter. I do like the Greek oregano, the dried Greek oregano the best myself, but whatever you like is fine. I'm going to add about a tablespoon or so of that. Now let's just finish off what little bit I got in there. That's okay. Now we're going to stir that up. Just mix all that together, and that's going to be the stuffing for your cheese, or the cheese stuffing for your chicken. Just kind of mix that together. Now, I've kind of started a little bit of a breading station here. In my plate, I have about 1 cup or so of Italian spiced dried breadcrumbs, and then I've got 1 egg that I've beaten with a little bit of water, and I'm going to just put that in this shallow dish here. We're just going to put that to the side, and let me show you how we stuff these chicken breasts. Now, I'm just using 2 today because these were huge chicken breasts. As you can see, they're really, really big, and so I'm just going to use 2, and it'll serve 4 people because those are huge. You want a long, thin knife like this. This is a boning knife. You want to take your chicken breast, trim it up. If you've got any little pieces of, thinner skin, go ahead and, or not skin, these are boneless, skinless, but little thinner pieces of meat, we're going to go ahead and just trim those off. Take your chicken breast, and as you can see, there's a fatter end and a skinnier end. You want to start at the fatter end. Please be very, very careful with this not to cut your fingers. And you want to insert that knife. Probably be safer to lay it flat. Can you see what I'm doing here? And lay your hand over it and cut a pocket. That's what you're wanting to do. You're wanting to cut a pocket. You see how I've got that in there? I have not cut through to the other side. You do not want to cut through. You want to just make a pocket. The reason for your boning knife is it's thinner, and you can get in there and you can get into all edges of the chicken. And there you go. There's just a little pocket in your chicken breast, and that's where we're going to put our wonderful little cheese. This one looks pretty good. So let's do this one. About midway through the chicken breast, come one direction, angle your knife in there, turn your knife over, and go back the other direction. And you've got a great little pocket in there that you can put anything, absolutely anything in there. And today, what we're going to put in there is our wonderful cheese mixture. Take a little bit of your sun-dried and cheese mixture, mix it together, kind of get a little bit, about a tablespoon or so will be plenty. Open your pocket, can you see what I'm doing here? And then stuff that cheese down in there. This is a little messy, but that's okay. Stuff it down in there. You don't want to overstuff. Start with about a tablespoon and then add more as you need to. And then take a couple of toothpicks. Okay, you with me? And secure your pocket with your toothpicks. Just remember to take the toothpicks out before you serve it. See how I've done that? It's just very simple. We'll do the other one here. Let me show you what I've done. Get your little pocket. Find your pocket. Where'd my pocket go? There we go. Where did you go? Here you go. Stuck together on me. Take some of your cheese mixture and stuff down in your little pocket. My oil is plenty hot. I hear it cracking over there. Hope it's not too hot. Let's turn that stove down just a little bit. Take your toothpicks and secure your little edges there. Now, wipe off your hands. Don't need to wash them at this point because you're just going to be getting them dirty again. You want to take your chicken breast, put it in your egg, and then put it in your breadcrumbs and cover it with your breadcrumbs. And then take it, and I know my oil is hot. I do not need to even test it because I hear it. Take your chicken breast and place it down in your oil and repeat it with the other side or the other chicken breast. Just coat it in your oil, your egg first, and then down in your breadcrumbs. Looks good, doesn't it? And then take your chicken breast and put it in your skillet. We're going to saute those on both sides. I'm going to wash up and take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to get started on our carrots. I'll be right back with you in just a minute. Hi, and welcome back. Now we've just got our chicken in the skillet frying away. I've got my water to a boil. I'm going to add 1 16-ounce bag of just the baby carrots. I love those little baby carrots, but you could use, regular carrots that you peel and slice if you want to. I like the little baby carrots for this, just easier. I have 1 skillet here that I'm going to saute up some onion and some bacon. So let's get our bacon going. I like bacon. As you can tell, if you're a fan of this program, you know I like bacon. It just adds flavor to everything, in my opinion. And we're going to I slice my bacon. If I'm making this kind of thing, I always cut my bacon up first. I just think it's easier. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. And then put it to in your skillet. We're just going to saute up the bacon till it's crisp. Then we're going to add some wonderful other ingredients to it, like an onion and some a little bit of sugar, and we're going to bake the carrots in the oven until they're nice and glazed, and it will be delicious. So we've got 1 onion here, just a small onion that we're going to dice. This is one of those dishes that would be wonderful served at, a holiday meal like a Thanksgiving dinner or, Christmas dinner with your turkey or your ham. It would be delicious with that too. Or maybe a Sunday roast. The glazed carrots here go so well with so many different things, and it's a great way to get your kids to eat cooked carrots because it's got the flavor of the bacon in there, a little bit of sugar to sweeten it up. It's delicious. So we want to take our onion and we want to dice it, kind of a medium dice. Keep an eye on your bacon. Turn it if you need to. One of my pieces here got away. Our chicken is cooking up. We have just put it in our saute pan and we turned it already over the break. We went ahead and just turned it to the other side. Let the other side get brown. And then you want to turn down your heat on your stove so that the outside doesn't brown too fast to where the inside doesn't get done. So all we've done is just turn our chicken breast over, and I've turned down my heat to kind of a medium-low to let the other side brown and then let the inside of the chicken get done. Doesn't that look wonderful? Just that golden brown crust on there, and it's just simply delicious. Let's stir our carrots up here, see how we're going there. Get another spoon. Just bring those up to a boil. You want to let these whole carrots cook for, approximately 8 minutes or so, just until they're just tender. You don't want to cook them. And I guess this is more of a personal thing for me, but I don't like carrots when they are mushy. I like them to have just a little bit of an al dente type texture to them. I want them to have a little bit, al dente means to the tooth, it need a little bit of resistance. Don't overcook them to where they're mushy. Then they just are flavorless. Everything's gone and they're mushy, and that's when your children don't really want to eat your carrots. You do want to preheat your oven to about 375 for this. You want to get that good and hot, because what we're going to do is after we glaze these carrots with this sauce, we're going to put them in the oven for just a few minutes. All right, now our bacon is done. Let's put our onion that we chopped down in our bacon drippings. Be very careful not to hurt yourself, because it will pop out on you. Remember, that's hot, 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 hot. Okay, now to that, we want to add, our carrots are almost done. To that, we want to add about a tablespoon or two of butter. Just add that right to the pan. We're sauteing our onions until they are just translucent. Add some salt, a little bit of salt, and some fresh ground pepper. And we're going to add about 3 tablespoons or so of sugar, depending on how many carrots you've got. I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of just regular sugar. And just kind of let those go. Our chicken is browning away. Looks delicious. As you can see, it's just goldeny brown. And that middle, that cheese is going to melt and just be gooey and yummy and just absolutely delicious. Now let's check our carrots. I am guessing they are probably about done. Take a knife, cut one in half, and you see how easy that is? It just cuts right in half, and those are exactly to the degree that I like them done. If you want them done a little more, by all means, you can let them go just a few more minutes, but I really like them about like that. I'm going to let my onion cook for just a few more seconds here. Our oven is hot. It's at 375 degrees. I have a small baking dish here, just a small, little 6x9 glass baking dish. Something about that size for a bag of carrots is perfect. We're going to add our bacon back in to our onion mixture. The reason I take the bacon out is so that it doesn't get overcooked. And we're going to scoop out our carrots and add them right into the onion and bacon mixture. Just add your carrots right in there to all of that deliciousness. Yum. Here we go. Last 2. Oops, come on you. Good, good, good. And then turn that off. Stir it up. Look how good those look, just like that. Then we're going to pour them into our baking dish. Get them stirred up really good. Pour them into your baking dish. Be very careful. See what I mean? That's just the perfect size for a 1-pound bag of carrots. We're going to put these in the oven at 375 for about 15 minutes or so. And what that will do is that'll just concentrate the flavors into the carrots, and they will become glazed and yummy and delicious. You could, if you wanted to, leave them in the skillet, turn your stove eye down to low or simmer, and leave them on the stove if you wanted to. I just think it's easier to transfer them and then get them in the oven, and that way the oven does all the work and you don't have to watch them. I'm going to take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to make some lemon green beans. I'll be right back with you in just a minute. Hi, and welcome back. Now our carrots are in the oven, our chicken is done, our water is boiling for our little green beans. Now I bought at a store here, I got these little tiny little, they're called haricot verts, but they are just simply little small green beans. They're just very, very thin green beans. I'm going to just cut them in half. I've lined them up here, and I'm just going to cut them in half just to kind of make them a little easier to eat. I don't trim them. other than the tops. I don't trim the bottoms off because they're thin, they're tender. You don't need to bother with that. Let me just get some more. I love these little things in the wintertime, especially when I can't get fresh green beans. Now, my local big warehouse market, you know the names of what I'm talking about. You can get these at those. And if you can't find the little haricot verts, just get little thin snap beans that you can buy in any store out there in the wintertime. In the summertime, this is delicious made with, you know, your fresh green beans out of your garden. The thin ones, you don't want to use the pole beans or something that takes a lot of cooking. But the little thin ones, you can just use whole, just like I'm doing today. And just cut them in half, drop them in boiling water. Because these are so thin, they are only going to take about 3 or 4 minutes to cook. If I were using the thicker snap bean that you buy in the grocery stores this time of year, or, you know, you can get them year round, I would probably give them about, you know, 6 or 7 minutes. This is one of those green. Now, I love green beans that simmer all day long with the bacon drippings and all of that, you know, how we do in the South. Love them. But this is one of those beans that is a quick cook. The green beans are not cooked to where they're mushy. They are still left kind of crisp. And then we're gonna steam them or boil them for about 3 minutes. Then we're going to saute them in a skillet with a little bit of olive oil and some lemon and the zest of a lemon, just to kind of give them a little bit of a lemony glaze, and it'll be delicious. So while our green beans are coming back up to a boil, let's take a lemon. Remember, if you want to juice a lemon, to just run it across your cutting board with your hand, and that just starts to release the juices. And I'm going to go ahead and zest 1 lemon. Our chicken breasts are done. As you can see, they're on the stove. They're just sitting there waiting on me. We'll get one out here in just a second. The carrots are in the oven. I just boiled 1 bag of the baby carrots for about 6 or 7 minutes until they're just barely tender. Then I mixed them with, I sauteed up some bacon and onion, a little bit of sugar in a skillet, and we just mixed those all together, and we put them in the oven to just kind of get a good glaze on them. They're delicious. Let's get our lemon here, and then we're going to cut it in half here. Let's get one of our chicken breasts out and see how we look. Let's get my tongs, which are right here. Remember, in the chicken, remember that we put some toothpicks to hold in that stuffing. Now is when you want to take those toothpicks out before you serve it. Please do not forget to take those toothpicks out, or somebody's going to get a bite of something that they don't want. Just take those out because the chicken is done, and throw the toothpicks away. Take out one of your chicken breasts. Look how delicious that looks. And then let me show you what it looks like on the inside, because it's even better on the inside. You ready for this? We're going to take it, we're going to cut it, and look there at that wonderful cheese that has just melted. Our chicken is perfectly cooked. It's still very, very juicy and moist. Let's get that on our serving plate. Oh, yum. Just looks delicious. You could use that technique with anything. You could stuff your chicken breast, cut that pocket, and you could stuff it with absolutely anything that you like. You could use prosciutto with cheese. You could use ham and Swiss cheese and kind of make a cordon bleu type chicken. You could use compound butter. You know how we made that before? We softened the butter and added our herbs, and then freeze that, and then stuff a slice of that butter down in there and seal it up. Make a chicken Kiev type thing. The butter melts, and then when you cut into it, the butter just goes everywhere. It's delicious. So our green beans are boiling. We want to kind of let those hang out for just a minute. We're going to turn on our skillet here to like a medium high. We're going to add just a touch of olive oil and be getting that warm, about 2 tablespoons. Let's get our carrots out of the oven and see what we got there. Let me grab a mitt here. See what we got. Oh, they look delicious. Let's get our carrots out. Turn our oven off and get some of these delicious carrots on our plate with our wonderful chicken breast. Look at those, how good those look. With just that little bit of bacon and onion on there. Okay, now our green beans are done. Let's turn them off. I've got about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. I'm adding about 1/4 of a teaspoon of just some red pepper flakes because I like it a little bit hot. We want to add our lemon juice. Be very careful. Remember, you're dealing with hot grease here. Add in some lemon juice. And your green beans, just take them and put them straight in there. And what we're wanting to do is just saute the green beans in the lemon dressing that we're making here. See how that just kind of, Let's squeeze in our other lemon, half. Add some salt and some pepper. And just kind of stir fry those around. Add the rest of my green beans here. You just want to stir fry those around. Look how beautiful. They retain their crispness. They're just simply delicious. For today's menu, remember we've got the feta cheese and sun-dried stuffed chicken. We've got our carrots that we baked with a little bit of onion and bacon dressing on there with a little tiny bit of sugar. And our beautiful haricot verts that we've just simmered, and then we sauteed them in a little bit of olive oil with a lemon dressing on there. And there you go. There's a nice, beautiful, healthy meal for your family. I hope you'll try these recipes, and I'll see you next time on Everyday Manna.
Thank you for watching Everyday Manna with Lisa. This program is made possible by viewers like you. Your support is continually needed to keep Christian programming on the air. Please send your best financial gift to Living Faith Television in care of Everyday Manna, P.O. Box 1867, Abingdon, Virginia 24212.